Welcome back. In a previous video we looked at some basic formatting in Excel. We could change font color, size, background color, etc. In this video we're going to look at some additional features to make the data more usable by getting it visibly formatted. Okay, let's take a look at our data. We have 4 cities. We have 12 months of the year for each city, and we have the average temperature in those cities taken from this website. Notice that it doesn't fit on the page, that the second sets, the Dubai and Paris set of information, goes off the page, and I'd like to get it all on the page comfortably and to get it looking good. And I realized that I have a lot of vertical space here that I'm not using, but horizontal space is at a premium, and that's often the case in Excel. Also, I don't need very much space to display the actual temperatures. It's the names of the months and the names of the cities that are taking up the room. So let's see if we can do something with the months. First I'm going to select the months, January through December. I'm going to right click, Format Cells, and I'm going to go to the Alignment tab. Now the orientation feature is over here. I can use these arrows to change the direction. So there, now it's at a 26-degree angle. You see that's nice. It really didn't solve my problem for me, but it's a nice feature. You can see using that in some cases. You can also just grab this and drag it. So I'm going to make them completely vertical. You can see if they're completely vertical, I need less room, or I potentially need less room. Let me undo that for a second. Now if I wanted to do it to 2 non-adjacent rows of cells, I can select this, hold down my Control key. Remember we did this previously in one other video? But holding down that Control key will let you select non-adjacent cells. Right click. And there you go. Now of course another method would be, once I have one set done, simply to click on one that has the formatting that I like, hit Format Painter, and I can either click one cell to turn it, or I can select a range of cells, or alternately I can double click this, and now my Format Painter will remain on until I hit the Escape key on my keyboard. So let's see. That's fine. It hasn't saved me anything yet. But what if I select this entire column and double click? Well, that's a problem. I happen to have this long bit of text down here at the bottom, and that's affecting my first column. So let's see what else we can do. Okay, first of all, I'm going to simply select some of these. And when they're all selected, I'll visually drag this to what I think I might like. Okay, that's nice. There's a couple of things I still need to do with it. One is I'd really like these to be centered left to right. So if I select them, I can center them left to right this way. Also, notice you've got a second set of orientation here. And I'm not going to need it right now, but I could put them at the top, the middle, or the bottom of the cell. And by the way, when a cell has width like this, if it's horizontal, it's the same thing. You can place them at the top of the cell, down middle if there's extra room, or down at the bottom. Okay, still not exactly what I'm looking for, but we're getting closer. Now, another feature we can use is something called column width. So I see these and I'd like to keep them all consistent, and my first column isn't consistent. I could guess and I could get it approximate, but let's do something else. I'm going to select a column and right click and go to column width, and I can see that my column width is 5.14 right now. So what if I just made that column width, well, let's do an experiment. What if I made it 2? Okay, that would set it that wide. So I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to set it to 5. And looking at this, let me center that one. Okay, I think I like that. So, first thing I'll do is I'll take this entire set of columns and I'll set them to 5. Okay, nice. Let me do it for these also, and I'll explain why in just a second. There we go. And the reason I wanted to do the second set right away is I wanted to see, I could see that Dubai United Arab Emirates is probably the longest name, and I want to deal with that next, and I want to see exactly how many columns it seems to span. Remember, it all exists inside N1, not O1 or P1, but it looks as if it spans more than one column. Okay, so we're getting there. Let me adjust my height a little bit. I'm clicking on the arrow between the rows, and I'm just manually changing it to get it to where it looks good to me. Okay, next thing is I would like to select all of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. And there's a merge and center button. I don't really want it centered, but I'll use it. Merge and center button. And you'll see that now this is a single cell, N through R. So it's merged those cells. Since 5 of them are merged, see, if I wanted to put a background color in, the background would now apply to all 5 cells, where if I put that same background in New York City, you can see it's not merged. And I'd also like to format this first cell. Now, at first thought, I could escape my formatting, click on one of these, because they have the same format, the little black header boxes, and do that. But when you're doing the formatting of a range, I've selected this entire range of data, I'm going to click here and notice that 2 things happen. One is that my merge seems to have shortened, and that's true. That's because this first box was merged across 5 columns, and this was 7, but because I'm using the Format Painter, it's reverted back to 5. And because I didn't drag it out, it's going to get the format of the thing in the same relative position. So it assumes this is the starting point, which is the upper left, which is this. So if I had dragged it slightly, I would have gotten that much. But let me undo that. By the way, there's an undo button here, but depending on your version, the easiest thing is Control-Z. That will undo. So to fix this back up, I will select what I believe is the correct number of columns. I will merge and center, and then I will left align again. Okay, here's a case where I've made the top row a little wider, or a little taller actually, and now I can use this set of alignment tools here. Just so that you know, in a lot of cases, you can right click and there'll be a cell alignment option in here depending on your version, and if you click on that, it will give you an entire grid of options: upper left, upper center, upper right, mid left, mid center, etc. Okay, and that's it for formatting in this tutorial.